from last time, from what those of you who were here before would have recalled, this tavern is sort of cobbled together from someone's actual home, so it's very small. You can assume not a whole lot of visitors here, just people who call this place home. Doesn't get frequented very much. But you guys stayed on the second floor of this home, sort of makeshift beds everywhere, made of hay and sort of stitched together in their own small little cozy rooms. Bertrade is for Joel, not for Orn not being here. Is a simple middle-aged Aarakocra female in sort of a cloth hood to keep herself warm, and hide clothing that is stitched around her so that she can freely, expose her feathers and be comfortable. So we come back down early in the morning. Well, while you guys are up there, I know Orn wanted to, do his thing. So would you guys all pretty much be in the same room? I would say the rooms are fairly big enough that they're like 4 quadrants. I'd say there's like 4 rooms. So, each of them are 15 by 20 feet. So when you guys woke up the next morning, you smell the fresh, salty air, and you feel the cool breeze of the wind coming across the horizon as the sun rises. What would our first move be as we wake up? What would we speak to each other?
So, in the process of getting up, he's not really the excitable type, but Orn will be, putting on his boots and securing his pouches and whatnot, and wait till everybody else has rubbed most of the sleep away from their eyes, and as everyone's, maybe getting ready to stand up and head towards the common room to see about food and whatever, he's gonna kind of step a little bit in front of the door, not in an aggressive way of blocking everyone, but just hoping he has a chance to speak before everyone leaves the room, and says, I recall our visit with Licia. We have to find some treasure for this dragon. Well, I put it upon myself to attempt to read the stars and determine our future. And a vision came to me through the night, so I woke up, the rest of you were still asleep, and I wrote things down. I figured it would be important enough to share with you. It's been weighing on my mind of what incredible gift we can give a dragon to impress it. And I think this is important. Here, let me read it. Ophidian eye and shimmering scales of red, passage forth to the tower of flame must find. A simple gift of treasure for their bed. Take care of the choice, leave chance behind. Which treasure among us could meet such a mark? Are things in all? There must be something of note. Lucatiel's magic sword, perhaps, that work of art. Or a spellbook containing knowledge by rote. Both items surely meet the value of good, but are they wanted by Arla, protective of her friend? Boldly step forth up the stairs as a hero would, leave chance behind for this moment to end. Not knowing which to pick, we must fetch a coin. Flip one side for the sword and the other for the tome. Heads we give up Lucatiel's treasure, recently purloined. Tails goes Orn's spellbook, all that he owns. Such chaos there would be if either lost their way. Most precious possession, gift for the chance to progress. Surely there is another path to be found this day, where this terrible chance doesn't lead to regress. One side of this rusted golden coin is angelic indeed. The other side marked most foul, the evil face askance. Not a spellbook or sword for trade they will need. Give the coin of chaos, for the dragon loves chance.
Nerf is hiding the sword behind her back.
I would think that Nerf would probably not be 100% with this one.
But then after hearing the end of it, she starts nodding and saying, "Oh, that does sound better than the first part."
Hmm. So you guys were going. Was Orn's plan to flip the sort of? I guess now it's pretty much seen by you guys as the chaos coin. To figure this out, or are you going to flip a regular coin for it?
No, I'm not flipping it. Like the idea was.
Oh, I thought you said you were flipping a coin to see if you were going to give a coin, or okay. I'm like, wait a second. You want to flip that coin to make a like mundane decision?
Valuable things we have. My
Okay,
spellbook,
I
Lucas'
understand now.
artifact. Well, how do we decide between the two? I'll flip a coin. So he reaches into his pouch to flip a coin, and it's like, oh.
Oh, I understand now.
The coin.
The coin itself. Perfect.
I think it's a good plan, and assuming a better idea doesn't come up before we get there, I'm happy with it.
Okay. So, what would Garud's stance be on this?
Give me 1 second here.
Sure.
Alright, so I don't know, I'm gonna kind of follow his lead on this for right now. Because I know, like you said, we're trying to get everything planned out and get ready for our next move. I want to help get Orn and Nerf the upgrades they were wanting to look for too, though, in town here. So I think it would be better to prep for the journey and then prep the gift. Make sure we got everything in order that way.
Of course.
Oh, indeed. It was weighing on my mind of what we could possibly give the dragon, and I figured before we spent all of our coin on gifts in town, we should come up with what we thought would be the best thing to give. But yes, preparation is indeed the best thing to do.
At that point, Bertrade would stop gabbing and helping this middle-aged human with rosy pink cheeks and a bald head, and he's kind of like got hay stuffed inside of his hide coat. He got a little bit of a hunchback. It seems like they were good friends, just talking amongst each other. And she would come towards you guys, bobbing her head like a little dove as she scampers across the floor. And
Bertrade is her name, you said?
Bertrade, yes. Let me go ahead and
Yeah.
like that. So she would very quietly, delicately, scamper on over to you guys and would say, Hyde Township's fine adventurers returning from a well-deserved sleep. I would say that after hearing many stories that have been told to me, you all have made quite a stamp on this place after what I've heard about that old lost Bastille as the mausoleum had crumbled to its knees. I have some dire lobster here. Make sure not to tell anyone else, since usually I reserve it for, well, the church and the old priest. But I think now would be the occasion where I could offer it to somebody else. If you all would like a very sweet, honey-roasted dire lobster on the house, I would be very content to give it to you all as a gift of thanks for what you've done here.
I'll accept the offer of some lobster. I just kind of look at her and, why, thank you. That would be lovely. Can I also have a little bit of that mead that we got the first time? I'd like to have some of that as well, please.
Honey mead with your honey roasted dire lobster. Quite a fine choice indeed. I'll be right back with it. It is a very big meal, so make sure you be careful. Don't want you stumbling out of here with your stomachs between your knees. And she'll go back behind the counter. And there would be sort of a little hatch down into a basement here where she would go and scrounge up some food for you guys.
Yeah, nurse eyes go real big and just gets a big smile on her face looking at everybody else.
Alright, so I'm gonna kind of like, I'm not doing this trying to insult, I'm doing this as a thought. I kind of turn and say, do you think the dragon like food and drink?
Like some
As I
dire
kind of
lobster?
look to the group.
Nah.
We all like food and drink. I'm not sure I could carry enough food to make a dragon realize they even had a swallow.
Yeah.
This is true. But if I could get us at least a jar of that meat or something, maybe it's something we can give along with whatever we get.
By the way, Alex is online right now. Not entirely sure what's going on because I did send him a message since he got online. He hasn't said anything yet. I remember last time his computer was bugging out, so it might be bugging out again. We'll see. But
he just messaged me and said, "Shit, yeah, my bad, man."
Okay. All right. Well then, it looks like we'll have a full party here. But yes, so Burtrade, the elderly Aarakocra, does go down into the dark cellar to cook some dire lobster for you. And you guys can take a seat if you wish. Unfortunately, there are just 2 seats at that open table, because it's not a big establishment with many visitors. As you guys go to sit down, though, the rosy-cheeked man with a very rough face, you can tell he's a man of hard labor in the sun, would scoot off of his chair, look to all of you, and stumble forward, sort of scraping against the wood. His back's in pretty bad condition. He gives a little bit of a wave to sort of show that he's coming towards you guys, and just waddles forward with a smile on his face. And he doesn't speak. He's just sort of shaking a little bit. It looks like maybe speaking is something that's kind of difficult for him. He might, you don't know what kind of, he might have some kind of illness or something. But he just sort of gives you guys like a little bit of a friendly bow and looks at you with a smile, puts up a single finger, and then he opens his vest, and he's sort of scrounging into like a little backpack that he's got on his side. And then he pulls out a little gift for all of you. And he's able to whisper with a raspy voice and say, "My daughter Boromir made a present for all of you last night after hearing the stories of what you've done here. It is not much, but I do believe it will offer good luck to you on your journey." And he will offer a small horse that is made out of animal hide and very poorly stitched together. It's got button eyes. It's got actual like animal hair for its mane, but very patchy, not very good craftsmanship. But he does offer this tiny little stuffed horse that his daughter made for you with a bow, offering in his palms.
Nurse will hold out her hand to take it and bow back.
Thank you once again for what you've done here. I know many of us were once very apprehensive towards foreigners coming to this land, but we can see allowing you into our gates was a very, very smart move indeed. You will always be welcome here for however long you decide to stay. I promise it. And he will wobble back over to his chair to take a much-deserved seat.
That was most kind of you. Thank you for your kind words and the gift that your daughter so lovingly made.
He shaking,
Thank you.
gives another wave, and lets out a smile. And then the hatch backs up, slams against the stone wall, and Bertrade emerges with a large silver platter of dire lobsters steaming. Smoke emanates through the room, and it is about half the size of Nerf. So it's tiny sized, but it is very big for a lobster, almost small sized as she struggles to carry it over. But she does with clanking and clanging. And so the silver platter is lined with honey mead, one for each of you. And in the center is a very large plate of a single dire lobster that is seasoned and has, greenery surrounding it. And she lets out a sort of happy chirp, and she presents the silver platter in the middle of the table, and the sweet smell of honey roasted seafood with the frothing honey mead fills your senses as your mouth begins to water. And she gives a little bit of a bow and heads back to her table.
Before she heads back, can I hand her however much it is to cover that guy's tab?
Oh yeah, sure. It looks like he just had probably 2 beers, so I'd say 2 gold.
I just kind of tell her it's for that guy at the bar there. Tell him he's covered.
The kindness in your heart has no bounds. Thank you, sir. And she will then give you another nod and go on over and explain to the man that you guys had helped him out.
Cool. Nerf will start digging in the lobster with her hands.
All right. Make a Constitution roll, not saving throw. Roll.
Oh damn! It wasn't cooked well. Shit.
It's not a saving throw. Just a roll.
I
Okay.
think I'm gonna have me a bite too.
Very delicious. Fills your belly. Everyone who eats it, go ahead and nice.
Ooh, 20.
Oh, I'm definitely eating some. Yeah.
Not a save, Grood.
Oh, I didn't mean to make it as a save. Sorry, I just hit my Constitution thing.
Maybe Orin likes it.
Okay. Go ahead and re-roll, Garud.
Alright,
Oh, shit.
No.
Do you want to roll for Lionel as well?
yeah, sure thing. Let me pull up his character sheet here quick.
Okay. So, for Nerf, it's delicious. For Lionel, he gets 3 temporary extra hit points from its sort of hardiness for the next 24 hours. So, I'll go ahead and put in the red. Can I put a plus symbol in there? Oh, no. That just turns into 6.
Even if you just wrote 3, it wouldn't be a problem. I can't do that part for his characters.
I got it. So yeah, in addition to it being delicious, Lionel is blessed with increased hardiness from this. Orn gets 8 temporary hit points for the next 24 hours from the deliciousness of this dire lobster and its now realizable magic properties that it has baked into it. And
Richard, this is amazing.
Garud gets 5 extra hit points, and with your crit roll, you also get advantage on your saving throws against poison and disease for the next 24 hours as well.
Oh, sweet. Oh, this is delicious, I say, as I just keep scarfing it down.
So before we went to bed, I was trying to think of what kind of treasure we could give the dragon to bribe it to get on its good side to get access to the Tower of Flame, because we were told we had to give the dragon some sort of gift.
I will clarify something that I think we got confused about. The Tower of Flame was a towering lighthouse that went above the clouds in the center of the township, or in the center of the the ruins of the kingdom. It can be assumed that the palace might be where the Dragon Slayer resides.
Cool.
So separate those two, yeah. Because I think you thought that the palace was the Tower of Flame. So, anyway, continue.
And so he decided, my character decided to try to use his divination magic and figure out what we should give the dragon, and ended up having a vision where first he's considering what are the most valuable things that we have, right? Because you're trying to bribe a dragon. Friendship. He came down to the Lucatiel sword that was recently given to us, the family heirloom artifact that can pierce through armor and is magical, and his own spellbook were probably the two most valuable things he could think of. So he's like,
what about his blade that I'm carrying?
Well, hang on, I'm not done. And the vision told him in order to decide between the two, perhaps flipping a coin was the right thing to do. And he ends up considering the coin that he has, the magical gold rusted coin, the one that has the angel side on one and the devil side on the other, that can do a critical success or critical failure, and remembers that thing's magical, and remembers being told that the dragon loves... how did I write it down? The dragon had a chaotic nature.
Yeah.
And so this coin was kind of like a thing of chaos as well, and figures the coin might be the perfect gift to give to the dragon to bribe it and get on its good side. He tells the party all this when we woke up in the inn before we came downstairs for food, and we thought maybe it was a good idea. Garud seemed to be a little hesitant and wants to see if we can get the dragon to like some more simpler ideas before we give up such a powerful coin. But ultimately would probably go along with the idea too, if that's what we needed to do. So that's what we had talked about as maybe a gift for the dragon. If you came up with a better idea, I'm all ears.
I mean, we could give him the blade, because I feel like we're gonna need all the stuff that you guys have enormously, whereas the blade is more of a hazard than anything.
Well, did anyone want to? I know that I talked about it on our off week. I don't think we know any properties of it other than when Lionel tried to touch it, it burned him, and that it doesn't have a hilt anymore.
Right. You said that we could try and roll and see if we could figure it out if we had, I'm trying to remember, was it divination or what?
Well,
it's trying to roll on it again?
Well, I mean, a magic user can, study it by resting for a long period of time, or you can.
See, there you go. That's what I meant.
Yeah, or you can cast Identify on it. I think.
Yeah,
that's
I
how that
believe
works.
I addressed both of those things in chat. My opinion on that.
Oh yeah, Orn didn't want to touch it.
After seeing somebody take the 4 dice, whatever fucking shit of fire damage and touching this thing, no.
Yeah, it was
Well, you're all
46.
these temporary HP.
Well,
you
where's
might as
your
well
sense of
speed it.
adventure, Orn?
Well, what if I give you inspiration? Because then you get to. Oh, don't forget, you still have to make a saving throw, so you can just add the inspiration to that,
We don't-
and then be like,
Okay, again, maybe you're not listening. He said no, because Identify spell requires you to hold the item for a full minute.
We don't even know if just touching it still hurts us. So Lion
How
have
do
to
you feel
touch
about
it, see if it
dying
still hurts us.
twice?
I'm good.
Tell you what, because we rested, didn't we?
Yeah.
We're back at full health.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab the blade.
It's wrapped in a white cloth, right? You had it wrapped on your back.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the bit of tang that doesn't have sharpened edge,
Sure.
where the grip would have been over, and I'm just gonna see what happens.
It's stone cold.
Hey! And then I die.
Fuck you.
No.
Yeah.
You take 8d6 cold damage.
8d20. Well, so basically, I'm okay.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's a big, heavy blade, but it is stone cold. You are not taking any damage from it. Whatever was causing it You can assume whatever you want about why it might have faded away, but it seems whatever burned to you faded from it.
No, please, Orn, touch my blade. I'm just gonna hold it in front of him, considering I'm already holding it. I'm not dead. Nothing bad happened.
It appears Orn has stepped away.
It just walks away.
Well, what is this thing, like 10 feet long?
Just kind of, well, just slowly, stepping back and away, just like, no, really, thank you. I'm quite okay. That thing terrifies me.
So magic weapons, in their nature, sort of, whenever it has like a new wielder, like shrinks or grows to the size of the wielder. So it's just like greatsword sized now.
So would I be able to spend, because I'm a magic user of swords, would I be able to spend time with it and learn its properties?
Is that just a... See, the thing is, because I'd never play wizard or whatever, is it just like a thing where if you're a magic user, you can spend a long rest to do it, or is that a specific like spell you have to have?
So the rules of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition are any class can spend a short rest attuning to an item, and then you can spend a second short rest to learn its item's properties once you're attuned to it. But this is your world, and some DMs have custom ways of how they want.
Well, if it does have an attunement property, then yeah, I would say anyone can do that.
All right, I'll tickle it.
Okay. So would you have,
Yeah, that's the text I recall, Nerf.
Would you have in your own time, Lionel, like sat in your room and attuned to it while no one's like watching, or would you do it like right now?
Yeah, sure. I'd have been touching my blade all night.
Great. So, touching the cold, hard blade all night.
Just touching the whole length of it.
Yeah.
Boiling it, all sorts of stuff.
So let's see here.
Strokes their blade at night, right?
Yeah, cold, hard blade. Anyway, so let's see here. You would be able to attune to it, although you would not be able to wield it, obviously, because it has no hilt. So you're going to have to find someone who can craft that for you. So let's see.
So you got proficiency in greatsword?
I've got some proficiency in something. Let me have a look at what it is. That was a very vague answer, but yes, I believe I believe I've got something I can use. Hold on. Oh god, I've got so many characters here.
Were you a Valor Bard?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're proficient in martial weapons, I think.
Very cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I like singing as mac and shit.
Well, I saw you swinging a longsword the other day. I just wanted to make sure you could swing the big boys too.
Oh, that wasn't a longsword.
So if you were
Sorry.
if
I thought I remember seeing the actual words longsword on the rolls that you're making.
oh.
No, I was making a crude joke.
So, if you were to attune to it, this is what you would attune to. It's a pretty simple weapon, but, pretty effective in what it does. So you get three charges. It is considered a cursed item, it being under the control of the Lost Sinner, and in addition, giving you the initial burning hands thing, but that has since faded away, and you have survived past that. So it is now a +1 greatsword, has 3 charges. You can expend a charge to become reckless at the start of your turn. So you gain an advantage on all melee attack rolls made during your turn, but attack rolls against you have advantage until the start of your next turn. And it regains all charges at dawn.
That's spicy.
Yep. But you cannot wield it. It is hiltless.
Yep, I'm just gonna pop it in my inventory.
Okay. So, in addition to that, we were looking for... Who was looking... Wait a second. Okay. So thinking about all the items that we have acquired, what relics have we kept from the Lost Bastille? What have we taken with us of, like, importance, of, like, legendary item? Like, there's only, you know, not just random loot, but story-wise, what have we taken with us? Did we take anything from the Rune Sentinels, the children of King Idibus?
I got one of their hammers that I was hoping to convert into a staff, but if we want to give that to the dragon, I'd be totally fine for that.
Did some of you guys grab some armor?
Yeah, we all grabbed, like, I grabbed some pauldron pieces and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Some sabatons.
I did not grab any armor. Honestly, the only thing I have from the cave, or not the cave, sorry, the Bastille, is I've got the hag's claws that I was going to try and make into a spear of some sort.
Nice.
I don't know if you're using it, but I thought...
Bodies.
And I've got the Bell of Attunement, or not Attunement, sorry. Oh
The,
my gosh, why am I mixing my items up?
What's it?
Give me
The
a second here, let me double check my...
Chime of
inventory
Denial.
here. That's what it is, Chime of Denial, yep.
I thought you wanted to use the barbed club too.
Oh, I thought we talked about giving that
I did
to...
not pick up the barbed club, no.
I thought we gave that to
picked it
Nerf.
up, and you said you might want it because it's a light weapon that does 2d4.
Yeah. It pretty much does, like, technically 1d8, but better. Does it do 2d4 plus 2d4? From what I think it does...
Yeah, it's just 1d4 plus 1d4.
Oh, okay. Like, did I really do 2d4 plus 2? Okay, good. Yeah, so bludgeoning and piercing. So if you come across a skeleton, you know, we got two options there.
But it's light, so you can dual wield with it and do a little bit more than...
Yeah.
But anyway, we do have that. Whether you use it or not, I guess doesn't matter right now.
Yep.
Fair enough.
I took some organs out of those things, but I don't think they're worth a lot.
Okay. I'll go ahead and now we can have the description for the Sinner's Greatsword. There we go.
Fucking sweet, dude.
Alright, so we pretty much have two different paths that we can take here. We did learn of a Dwarven blacksmith named Dessig that lives on Queen's Harbor, the docks of Heide Kingdom, where sailors and huntsmen used to travel to No Man's Wharf to get, you know, the food needed to supply Hyde Township. You know, we know that that's a very dangerous place. We've heard quite a few stories about it. I think it was Licia that told us that Dessig is the one who supplies, you know, the huntsmen with their weapons. Other than that, you know, there aren't any other blacksmiths in the area. This is a very peaceful little township. So if you guys wanted to go, you know, do some blacksmith stuff over there, we can. And then also on the other side of the kingdom is Arla, who requires a gift. So we've got two choices
okay
here.
with shopping and stuff until before we go to the dragon.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see if we can find Dessig.
Sounds good to me. Alex, forgive me ahead of time. now that we have someone of Celtic descent, I'm very self-conscious about my Dwarven accents.
Is this one going to be Irish or Scottish or something?
Something probably along those lines. We'll see.
I can't.
Don't say a fucking...
For you?
What'd you say?
You want me to read it for you?
See, the thing is, it's like I give information about what these characters know, and then I do dialogue based off their information. So
Oh, okay.
I would, but unfortunately, I couldn't. Just do not fucking laugh at me. Okay. So
Good luck with that.
okay. So we now leave Shalquoire's Main, probably saying goodbye to Bertrade as she and her, elderly companion wave goodbye to us. And we are back out on the seaside ruined streets of the old Hyde Township that's been here for very, very many years, as we see, wheelbarrows of seafood and exotic fruit being carted around to people's homes. It looks like they're like designated people who drop them off. We've got turtles once again, Aarakocras, humanoids, those sort of seaside races. We have, if we were to go to the dragon, we came from this side, so there's like a long series of crumbling bridges over the water that lead back over there. And then beyond Old McLoif Temple is sort of where we were told is a long segment of bridges and ruined, platforms that head on over to the shore that Hyde Township rests on. And you guys were going to Queen's Harbor then?
That's where we think the blacksmith is.
Oh, Licia straight up told you guys that's where you could go.
Yeah, I'm up for going there.
On the way over, can I drop my pieces of hag off at Estra's Elixirs?
Oh, sure. So, if you were to do that, if you were to just sort of say, "Oh, hold up, you guys, wait a second, I gotta go do this." Walking in there, you would once again see Uric and Estrith bickering. As we approach the door, we can hear shouting inside, one-sided shouting, a male with like a very squeaky voice, elderly male with a squeaky voice shouting from behind the door. If we enter, the shouting gets louder, and we can see two turtles here, like a turtle couple, man and wife, that are like ducking their heads into their shells, so you can only see their eyes. And they're just pretending they can't hear the shouting, and are just sort of uncomfortable while they read a book. And Uric would turn, seeing you guys enter, and he is this scrawny, brown-feathered, like dirty brown-feathered male Aarakocra, elderly. He's got like a twisted, like bark cane in one of his hands, and he was like waving at Estrith. She doesn't look to be upset. She's just kind of rolling her eyes like, "Oh, Uric's at it again," kind of thing. Uric would look to all of you, go wide-eyed, and say, "There they are right now, Estrith. The very people I told you are a trouble on this town. Nobody believes me. Everybody thinks that they're here to save the day. Well, no, they're just here to keep us comfortable. You know that they cursed our garden, Estrith. Just you see, in just a day's time, little tiny monsters will sprout from that grass to destroy everybody in this town. You all here, you think that you're here to save us. You're not even native here. Go back to your homes. Get out of here. Get out of here before you cause the real trouble, you bugs, you insects." And he just continues waving his cane in your faces.
While he's doing that, I'm just going to look at him, then look at Garud in my sort of old man kind of thing, and be like, "I think you'll find this boy is an orphan."
Hi, my name's Orn. Nice to meet you.
He would narrow his eyes, put both of his clawed hands on his cane, and look you deep in the eye. How old around is Orn again?
Orn is 132 years old.
Okay.
So that would put him in the young adult, I believe.
Yeah. He would look at you, and you could see he's beginning to boil. And he said, "Don't come at me with your sarcastic manners there. Do not patronize an old man. I know what you're here for, you fancy schmancy intellectual. You don't know what it's like to work with your hands as I do. Get out of here. Get out. I will not take your sarcasm any longer. You are not welcome here." And it is...
Hey, over here.
Estrith will come back from behind the counter, and she doesn't look angry at all, but she comes behind Yorick and she puts her like feathered hands on his shoulders and goes, "Come now, Yorick, they haven't done a thing wrong to us. There are no little tiny monsters sprouting out of the grass. You're just tired, dear. Please go upstairs and stop bothering our customers. I'm so sorry for him. He's a bit senile in his old age."
Aww, he hurt Orin's feelings. What a dick.
Yorick will then
Kill him.
yeah, Yorick will then go, "Humbug. All right, Bertrade, you will not be talking bad about my intellect in front of your customers. You need to have more respect for your husband. You'll see in time the trouble that'll cause. I'll be watching. I'm always watching." And then he goes upstairs. And he's gone.
Well, that was nice.
I'm gonna walk over to her and just kind of like shake her hand and tell her that I've been spreading the name of the shop and just give her all the bits and pieces and the odd stuff that I picked up while we've been away, like the hag hearts and the limbs and shit.
She would bow and shake her hand as well with her very quaint, elegant, feathered hands. And she will say, "Don't worry about Yorick. He's just an old man. He was here during the time of the Queen, and he actually, well, this is probably I shouldn't go around saying, but I trust all of you. He did support King Idibus in his reign, and he has just soured ever since. The name of King Idibus has become something nobody longer talks about. He's just sort of sitting in the past, waiting for things to go back to the way that they once were. But things change. Things will never be the same, and he just needs to get that through his thick bird skull. I have seen that you have brought in more customers. We have gained more wealth than we had before. Everyone is so happy to be here in Estrith's elixirs, and because of that, I have some potions of myself that I would like to grant to you. Wait here. I'll be right back to get you some gifts of potions that you may be able to use on your further journey."
That guy is like a massive fan of King Idibus, and we're just there like, yo, probably should tell him we just watched him die.
Yeah, for real. So you know how he said he's always watching you? Do you guys remember like seeing through the shades and the darkness, his little birdie eyes peering? Yeah, just whenever you guys walk by the shop, you just see his little bird eyes peering at you.
I want to see what he does now when me and him just rolled our 23 and 24 on survival to help him with his guard.
Yeah.
So yeah, while she's getting her potions ready, you guys went outside. I'll go ahead and here.
I was gonna wait patiently at the counter because I wanted to consult with her on something.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my potions and shit.
Here, just one second. I'm gonna make a change here.
Don't be ridiculous. Let's see.
Just one second. I'm gonna get a little object to put in here so it's a little bit more credible. All right, let's do. I would think right here would make sense. Oh, the void! No, shield your eyes!
Ah, secret passageway.
Secret tunnel.
I died. I'm just kidding.
It lures you.
I rolled the stealth and start walking after it.
Yeah, behind the bright light you see a table of 4 humans playing a board game. Alright.
I reach in and grab their die 20 and run away with it.
Yeah. Okay.
No! The charmed stone!
So, that is the backyard there. If you guys were going to go out and do that. So, who was it that rolled the survival rolls? It was Nerf and Garud. Okay.
Yep.
So, you two went out into the garden. And it is overgrown once more. Estrith might have also lost her marbles a bit. She is a little old, so she, can't go out into the garden and perform the hard labor. And of course, Uric is just a crotchety old man who probably refuses to do it because he thinks, some monster's going to eat him if he goes in there or something like that. So yeah, you guys are just doing a great job. There are some just like farming sites that are propped up against the wall. And you guys go ahead and grab those, and you begin, just chopping it away, doing a really great job, getting, it down to ankle level very swiftly, very fast, just carving a path through the overgrown garden, and you can see through the darkened windows your beady eyes peering down at you as you do so.
Just smile and wave at him.
He does not leave. He stares at you the whole time.
Did you say it's all over?
Take a picture, it'll last longer.
Dude, because he's glaring at me after I'm done pulling the weeds, instead of, chucking them to the side or something, I'm going to chuck them right back down where they were. Just
Oh, wow.
pulled out. I'm just staring at him now because he's being a jerk and, I'm weeding his garden, but I'm not doing anything with the weeds afterward. I'm just kind of laying them there.
You see him slowly shake his head back and forth. As you can see, he's murmuring something to himself, probably curses, but of course you can't hear any of them.
Yeah, Nerf is just
Just
in the
keep
zone.
staring him in the eye as I do it.
She doesn't even realize he's up there. She's just in the zone, weeding.
So,
Danger Zone playing in the background.
let's see. So Orn was going to ask her something while she's scrounging up these potions, then?
Yes, if it's not much of a bother, I was wondering if you could take a look at this when you have a moment. And he's going to pull the dead chaos beetle out
Nice.
that he has wrapped up. And he says, I know you understand rare components. I've been advised to destroy this. However, I have other ideas. I intend to use it for something. I wish to ask you, right now I'm storing it wrapped up in cloth. Do you think that is safe enough, or do I need to make more safer preparations of storing this longer term?
Well, we have heard stories about these insects of the witches, as they were called. A story that comes straight from the heart of Drangleic. It's very interesting that we had one burrowed deep beneath our city here. I unfortunately refuse to inspect it, but what I can do is I can give you a storage chamber to contain it, so that in case you were to wield it and it were to have any harmful effects on yourself, those harmful effects can be contained.
If I could afford it, I'd gladly pay the cost.
This one I definitely will not offer for free, as I am giving you your potions. But yes, that container I can build for you. It will take only a few minutes, and it will cost you about 25 gold.
I see. Perhaps I'll have to take my chance for the moment. I thank you so much. Unless perhaps I have some things that you might take and trade.
We can trade? What is it that you offer?
Well, we had found a bunch of spell components in that room. And so I got this palm-sized wooden basin and the owl feathers and enough charcoal dust and stuff like that to do some rituals. I don't know how much it's worth, but he'll see if some of that could maybe alleviate part of the cost, and he'd be willing to pay the difference in coin.
Oh, what was it that he was offering specifically? What object were you offering specifically?
So the stuff I had written down from finding in the extra spell components was a palm-sized wooden basin, some owl feathers, some charcoal dust, and incense and herbs.
Oh, there's a sack of silver dust.
Ah.
Just use that. I'm just gonna give that to him from under my robe and pass it to him.
All right, I'll offer the sack of silver dust along with the owl feathers and the wooden basin.
Okay. So everything considered before the silver dust would have been like that whole collection of stuff she would have offered you 5 gold for. And then once the silver dust was added, she would offer another 5 for just the silver dust. So she would offer taking 10 gold off of the storage container total.
So now 15 is the resulting cost?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll gladly pay that. Excuse me.
Thank you for further supplying my establishment. This storage container is now yours. Remember, it is not just for that bug, but anything that could fit inside of it that you believe might have negative effects. It will completely make those negative effects mundane.
How big is it?
It is like a, let's see.
Like a small lockbox?
Yeah, pretty much. It could fit anything that is like, yeah, I'd say it's about like, it's like a shoebox sized box.
Yeah, like a thermos kind of thing, shoebox size. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a glass container with golden clasps. The glass, when it reflects against light, it has like an emerald like reflection, like an emerald colored like reflection to it when it hits light. So it is at that point that she would go ahead and scrounge up her potions for you. I've got one of them here. Let's see what the other one is going to be. Just want to make sure I'm not giving shit that's too fucking dope right here.
Potion of invulnerability.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see.
Potion of immovable person.
Alright, so she will give you 2 larger potion bottles, corked closed. One of them is kind of eerie. It's got like a green goopy liquid in it, and it's surrounded by like almost like a feline yellow eye. That is still in it's like in an eyelid, but it's, just one solid object, like an individual eye. So it's blinking and it's looking around, and it's floating in this green goopy liquid. And then the second potion she gives you is just like a giant crystal of ice, surrounded by like snow. But yeah, so it's just like very sloshy, like crystalline, like snow, surrounded by a giant like shard of ice that's tucked away into this bottle. So these are your two potion bottles. And she will say, the one with the frankly quite disturbing eyeball is a potion of clairvoyance for you. And the second with the frost crystal is a potion of frost giant strength. Use them when necessary. And here you go. These are the gifts that I offer you for what you've done for our city, as well as what you've done for my shop. Now, from here on out, nothing will be free, for I believe that I have given you quite enough already. We are quite thankful.
I'm going to smile and shake her hand and say, you've been more than accommodating. Thank you very, very much. And just sort of like shake her with both hands and sort of bow a little bit.
I consider all of you business partners now. Of course.
Thank you for your work with me as well. I will put this container to good use, and I know I've been warned, but I promise not to use this dead insect for evil.
Whoever is in the company of my fellow business partners is trusted by me. I trust them the same as I trust you. You are now in their company, probably for very good reason.
Hey, Oren, is that container big enough for my ego, or is it just a little bit?
I think it's a little too small.
Yeah, Derf will come inside all covered in dirt now.
Can Nerf and Garud roll perception?
Sure.
You look into you go into your pocket to grab some gold to pay for something, and you see Yurek's eyes inside of your pocket in the darkness, looking up at you. And now go ahead.
That's just fucked up.
Literally every dark corner from now
It's in my
on.
pocket.
You're in the toilet and you look down between your legs and like,
Is that his eye in the potion of clairvoyance?
You know what? Who knows? Nerf can hear the faint, very rapid, like creaking of a rocking chair above him, just like madly creaking back and forth very quickly. In the dark silence above you.
And he's always watching too.
Yes.
I'm just gonna, like, as I come through the door, I'm just gonna start kind of brushing myself off while he's watching me. Just
Doing a lot of stretching and bending over.
And I just keep smiling and glaring back at him at the same time as I'm doing this.
You definitely get a cold chill down your spine, but you're not afraid of him or anything. It's just definitely kind of creepy old man with nothing to do, angry at the young folks, but with an extra layer of horror, obviously, because this is kind of creepy.
His new name's Bird Cosby.
Anyway, so yeah, you guys got these cool new gifts for potions that are pretty fucking powerful. She also opens up the shop to you guys now, and if you guys were wanting to search for any scrolls or potions in particular, she definitely is selling. Before you guys want to go to the blacksmith.
Garud invented yoga.
I have 6 gold left, so I hope that's enough to cut the head off this thing.
I have a bunch of gold I wasn't here before, but if you asked for some, Nerf would give it to you.
Were you all wanting anything on your adventure?
A decent chunk of change saved up here.
I have a wide collection. So if you were looking for like spell scrolls, pretty much like if you have certain spells that you want to be able to cast that are like low enough level that you can cast them, anything that you can think of, I'll see if she has them in her inventory. And obviously the higher level, the more expensive they'd be.
Does that need to be one that your class can learn?
I forgot if with you guys if you have a spell scroll, you can cast it. I think because you guys are getting powerful stuff, I am gonna do the generic rules of, you have to be able to cast it, and you have to be able to cast it at the level you can cast it at.
Makes sense.
I'm curious, does she have any type of, like, I know obviously there's plenty of potions and stuff, does she have anything that's like, poison or something that could be harmful to an enemy if we were to put it on a weapon? Or coat a weapon with it?
Well, I do not myself indulge too much in combat and wounding, although I'm sure those potions can be used for more than just lugging very large barrels around, or seeing if somebody is trying to pickpocket you. If you want to use them in combat, you can, but I do not offer anything that is specifically combat-oriented.
Thank you, I appreciate your time. And I'm just going to continue to look at other potions then for now.
Sure.
I think I'll look around for a scroll of fog cloud.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna turn to Orin while we're here, and I'm just gonna ask him, like, do you have any spells that work towards shielding a person?
Ah, yes, of course. Our village itself is one that many clerics have come out of. The old priest of Old McLoif Temple were very versed priests, and when we did defend our gates by more than just the Jade Knights, we had many paladins and clerics indeed. Let me go ahead and grab a, see if I have any more shielding potions for you. Just a moment. So let's see, spells.
I currently know the mage armor spell. Maybe you recalled I cast it once in combat.
Well, that's what I was
faced
thinking.
the Sahagins.
I was thinking maybe getting the scroll version of that. I myself, I don't think I can learn such a thing, but it'd be helpful to have on hand.
Just a second, I think they changed this sheet a little bit. There we go. Okay.
That one's only good for people who don't wear armor, though.
Let's see.
Do you have armor yet, Lionel?
Oh, here we go. There
I
it
do,
is.
but it doesn't make any difference to my AC because I'm such a nugget.
So she comes back and she does have a spell scroll for Shield of Faith. It is a level 1 spell, obviously, so she is going to offer that for 60 gold initially, but she is willing to barter.
I mean, didn't the discount knock 15 gold off or something?
Yeah, if the discount does still apply, so that would be, 45 gold.
Alright, what are I've got loads of random extra shit that I'm not gonna need. The fuck is Aura of Vitality?
I've seen priests cast that spell before. I believe it allows you to heal people. It lasts a minute, I believe. Healing people every few moments.
Did we find something like that in the hag fight?
Well, somebody has the scroll.
Yeah, we've got.
Well,
got
here's
some
the
stuff,
actual
but I know we're
description
gonna
of
need
it.
these scrolls.
Is that a...
Actually, I'm gonna leave the scroll with her because we have that scroll of Wrathful Smite.
So a level 3 spell scroll would initially be 200 to purchase, but since you're selling it to her, she's going to offer to give you back 100 for it.
That's the Aura of Vitality.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Owen because he's far more intelligent than me and just kind of raise my eyebrows.
Well, if none of us can use it, then I guess we sell it.
Okay. If you guys sell to her, you will acquire 100 gold.
Deal.
Very nice doing business with you. Do you still want that Shield of Faith spell scroll?
Would be wonderful.
Well, again, if no one can use it, what would we do with it?
I guess it is just... Let's see, how do we want to do
You told
this?
us that if you can't cast the spell normally, you can't read the scroll from it, so that's a Derek's spell, so if we can't...
Yeah, that kind of sucks. That would kind of suck. Did I do pretty much like anyone can use spell scrolls earlier in the game? Because if I did that, we'll just keep that.
I thought we did, but I don't want to tread on anyone's toes. So.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I think if you... Yeah, spell scrolls can be used by anyone, one-time use kind of thing, whatever. I think we'll do that, because that is a little bit more fun.
That's the way the vanilla rules are.
Oh, really? Is it? I thought that it was the opposite of that.
Any creature that can understand a written language can read the arcane
Oh,
script.
cool. Well, good.
The scroll can attempt to activate it.
For some reason, I thought that the rules were, like, very restrictive about it, but I'm glad that they're not, because I support that much more.
DC check or something.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
So, of that 100 gold, how much again are we spending on that scroll?
45.
35?
Oh, 45.
But the discount knocks.
15 off of it. So
it's down to 30.
no, so it's down to 45 because it was 60.
Oh, fuck. Okay,
Yeah. So there you go.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll just give her the gold and I'll take the scroll.
Cha-ching.
So that gives me it gives me 55 gold.
Okay.
It was great doing business with my business partners once more. I hope you continue to stay healthy and have a luck on your good journey. It appears that Yurik now it requires a bath. I do dread doing it, but he is my husband, so it must be done.
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
For full disclosure here, further research, there are conflicting messages in the Dungeon Master's Guide.
What is conflicting about him?
So on page 139, the Dungeon Master's Guide says any creature that can understand a written language can read the arcane script on a scroll and attempt to activate it. However, on page 200, underneath the spell scroll entry, it says, if the spell is in your class's spell list, you can use an action to read the scroll and cast its spell without having to provide any spell components. Otherwise, the scroll is unintelligible.
Okay,
So
ignore...
the DMG guide
Yeah,
is...
ignore
anyone
page
can do it,
200.
and then no one can do it, so...
Ignore page
it's up to
200.
DM interpretation, I would say.
Yeah, so the first entry is the one I'd go with. If you can understand written language, you can read it.
Yeah, just, full disclosure.
Yeah,
there's,
sure, it's good to know.
multiple entries that don't make sense.
Yeah, rip out page 200. Fuck that page.
It's probably got like one or two good things on it. It's like, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'm gonna add that to that gold. That shield of faith I've now got. Is there anything we're missing? Because I'm convinced one of us picked up something that was pretty valuable, but none of us were like, we'll use that.
No.
I've got the scroll of calm emotions. I'm not sure what that was worth.
It's dependent on the level that it is. Let me double check. That sounds like a level 1 spell.
This is the most gold I've ever had in D&D at one time.
Calm emotions is 2nd level enchantment.
Oh, okay.
Bard or cleric.
So, a 2nd level spell scroll is worth 120 gold for her. So she would give you 60 for it.
Perhaps we sell this as well?
Wait, didn't you guys cast it on the Lost Center?
No.
Not that I know of.
I thought somebody used that to tried to calm him down or something. Anyway.
No, I tried to use something on him and he was resistant to it.
Oh,
Because he
okay.
tried to make me fear him, which I was immune to.
Uh-huh.
I had advantage on.
Yeah.
And then I tried to use something on him, and that didn't work.
Same, and I tried to intimidate him, and he did
Oh, I
something else
see.
as well.
You might be remembering when we got to the surface and we were approaching town and there was kind of an unruly crowd.
Oh,
complaining
yeah,
about the
that's what
collapsed
happened.
Colosseum. I was getting it ready in case people got all crazy, but we didn't need to use it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I do remember something with calm emotion. But yeah, she would be willing to buy it if you guys are willing to sell it. And then Nerf, if you want
Yeah,
to,
okay,
I know
over.
you've still got that black ichor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I rewatched it. I think technically Lionel has that, but
Okay.
and I think we talked to her about it before, but she just told us it was kind of a chaotic liquid that did something different depending on, or it was like a Russian roulette sort of situation.
I see.
But I don't care if we sell it or save it for later.
I'm gonna look at Orn again and just kind of defer to him.
Maybe the dragon likes that too.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon likes chaotic shit.
Yeah, I would save that. It would be a better thing to offer before we offer the coin.
Okay.
Here's this black sludge.
Yeah. Can I enter your castle now?
Great. And that's how we died.
Yeah. You can slick back your hair with it if you want.
Dragons have hair.
Whatever, man.
Dragon's just there with an Elvis getup.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, fuck. Thank God. I've been looking for this fucking dragon hair grease forever. Whatever you want it to be.
Don't say that.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna step away from doing things now because I make bad decisions. So I'm just gonna look at Garud and Lionel, Garud and
yourself.
Orn, and just be like, what are we doing now? While Nerf's doing something with a bookshelf.
I'm just kind of gonna look over and say, well, once our counterparts are done looking, we can move on to locating the blacksmith.
It's a quest.
Sounds good to me. Were you guys pretty much done buying stuff?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good. Estrith will then wish you well, wish you good luck on your journey, hand you those potions, and close up the shop so that she can give Yurik a bath, although she dreads the task. So we leave Estrith's elixirs, and we are now heading beyond Old Mikloif Temple so that we can head down the winding, crumbling, ruinous path toward Queen's Harbor, the sandbar that the sort of sinking into the sea kingdom rests against. And we'll take
You're not making me very confident in this path.
What'd you say?
I said, you're not making me very confident in this path. This path that's going to get you killed, that's all horrible and nasty.
Oh, it's just like,
stuff.
by ruinous, I mean just like crumbled. Not ruinous like, oh god, awful, but I probably should have used a different description for that. Just like old crumbling ruins of a kingdom. So yeah, we'll take a 15-minute break and be back at 6:20 and do what we need to do with the blacksmith or whoever we meet, and then figure out what we're gonna give to Arla.
Sweet.
All right, see you
Did
guys
anybody
at
add those-
6:20.
Did anybody add those potions we got to their inventory?
Yeah, I've got them on my folder, so I'll write them into my inventory.
I put the storage box in my inventory.
Awesome.
Oh, and perhaps you guys can also get like a hilt for that sword so that it's usable. So you guys have since now left Hyde Township on the search for Queen's Harbor. We're now in the process of getting some better weapons, or fastening the pauldrons to armor, whatever you guys want to do. But we've Licia told us about blacksmith Dessig, a dwarf that lives in Queen's Harbor. So we're following the directions to get there, and of course we pass by what looks like what was many other townships. It is a long walk. It's probably gonna take us like a solid hour to get all the way to the other side of the kingdom. So as we travel, we do see towers that have since sunken into the sea. We see overgrown rubble and ruins of platforms that did look to be once townships, similar to the township that we just came from. And it's very cold breeze. We see the the tide smashing against rocks and rubble below us. We are hundreds of feet above the sea, but we can see that as we get closer to where we're supposed to be, this whole kingdom is sort of sinking sideways. So there's a natural decline with this kingdom that's going closer and closer down to the sea, as our ears are filled with the sound of the water smashing against the tide smashing against rubble, and it's louder and louder as we're getting closer and closer to the surface of the water. When finally we come across an archway, we can see at the other side, when we were descending, that there is a large sandbar on the other side. In the distance on the horizon, we could see very poorly cobbled together docks with wooden boats, and sails sort of, wavering back and forth in the breeze. And, we hear all the sounds of, work going on at these docks. So eventually we get to an archway leading to the sandbar, and there is a single Jade Knight there who is covered in, of course, like the mollusks and the nets and all that stuff, but he is also dried up in sort of a layer of sand, as if he spends much of his time patrolling this sandbar. So as you get closer, he would tighten his grip on, this large stone sword that has been dulled over time, full of moss, and he would cross it over the entrance to the archway, and he would say, "You, who goes there, happening upon Queen's Harbor? What is it that you want on this side of the kingdom? I've never seen you before." Well, go on, speak up, or I'll send you back the other way.
My name
I
is
think he's talking to you.
No, we just all have the same voice. We're all brothers. We're all twins.
Orn Devrock.
That name means nothing to me. I don't care your names, just tell me your business here.
We're looking for a blacksmith.
I was told there's a man named Dessig in this area.
Blacksmith Dessig. Well, it appears you know more about this kingdom than I thought you did. All right, if you're looking to join our sailors and huntsmen who are going to No Man's Wharf, then go ahead and feel free. We could use the extra help. Go ahead and write in. And he would lift the stone sword and present to you the archway as he stands aside, and you could hear his feet, crunching against the stone as it reverberates below you. He's probably thousands and thousands of pounds. And you see sunlight behind it and hear the squawking of seagulls. And I'll show you what is on the other side of this archway in Queen's Harbor. So, nice little area. Very quaint little harbor. We've got sun scorched sweaty workers who are gathering fish or filling barrels with supplies. We've got a woman here who is offering fruits and vegetables caught and brought here to the workforce that is maintaining this harbor. So you see workers going back and forth, scrounging around here. We see, like I said, the cobbled together docks, and we see some workers who look to be just about to set out on their journey. They're tossing bags of supplies onto the back of their small boat, looking to be untying themselves from the docks and heading forward. And to our left, we see another tall, sand-covered Jade Knight, this time with more of a maul type weapon, just as large as the greatsword that the other one was wielding, though. And he just sort of looks at all of you. His eyes behind the chainmail rusted mask meet yours, and he just slowly follows you as you move, but says nothing. And they're just humanoids and mostly humans that are just hanging around here. We do see off to the left a stone path that leads further down the sandbar.
Did he say something about them going to No Man's Wharf?
Yes, he pretty much invited you to we need all the help we can get. If you're coming here to go to No Man's Wharf, you're welcome.
Help with what?
Well, you do know that huntsmen and sailors go there to grab supplies from the dangerous island, and that blacksmith Dessig supposedly is responsible for fitting them with weapons so they can defend themselves while they go hunting on the small exotic island. Yeah.
Sign me up.
Done.
The Jade Knight, with puffs of sand coming up from his heavy feet, walks over to you with his maul over his back like a lumberjack with a heavy log, and he looks down and he says, What are you small creatures doing here? Were you here to join the boat to No Man's Wharf?
Ahoy!
I don't really know what that means. Do you speak common and do you speak small creature?
Feels like they really want us to go to No Man's Wharf.
That's not why we originally came here, but maybe we will. We're looking for Dressig, the blacksmith.
Oh, blacksmith Dessig. I'm sure he can help you out with whatever it is you're looking for. It'd just be down that way, down that stone path, and you'll get to his cabin. And he points down the stone path. Oh yes, of course. Hopefully we'll see you again. I've never seen such odd creatures before. Very well, continue down your way. I'm sure you offer no harm to this place.
What exactly can I see on that food rack that we're going past?
You see, like, exotic vegetables. They look to be, like, hardened for a very dangerous landscape. So, you know, they're covered in thorns and colors that, like, signify poison. So, like, purples and oranges and stuff like that. And they're just very exotic, like, strange-looking fruits. Like gourds
I'll approach
and
the
stuff.
person tending the stand and just say, which of these can I take on a journey and eat without dying?
She's got her hands folded in front of her waist, and she would smile to you and say, none of these would be dangerous to you at all. I am a master of my craft. I work with fruits and vegetables every day. I plant these in my own garden. I myself have taken the liberty of making all of these fruits and vegetables safe with the medicinal magic that I have been blessed with. You can be sure they're all tasty and they're all delectable to eat. But since you are not one of our sailors, I will have to ask that you pay in gold for you to take them from us.
Of course. I'll take a 5-pound bag of fruit, please.
Oh, my, of course. I'll just be 5 gold for that. These are pretty heavy vegetables. Only larger creatures of the exotic island eat them. I'll give you a few golds.
I'll lean into her and just kind of smile with my 6-foot-something frame as a way to persuade her kindly and say, as you can see, I'm a rather large creature. These would be very helpful. What a long journey. And I don't mean to insult you, but could you please, we could arrange something. I could help you out, bring you more, maybe.
Well, if you're willing to help me out, what is it that you would like in return? You do seem to be a more hearty creature.
Simply more of the fruit for less of the cost.
I see. Well, if you were to help me out, the only thing that we would really need help out with is the fact that we've been sort of running low on our supply lately. The more safe outer regions of No Man's Wharf is usually where we go. These huntsmen, these sailors, they're not trained warriors in any way, shape, or form. So since we've sort of gotten low on our supplies outside the island, as this seems to be a bit of an off-season, perhaps you'd be willing to go deeper still in? Try and see if deeper into the jungles of No Man's Wharf we may be able to find a fresh supply. I could see you being paid quite handsomely for that.
If you can give me the biggest sack that you can find, I'll fill it with what I can and tell you where I found it.
Well, if then you indeed promise to come back with fresh fruit deep into the island, as well as maybe some hide and meat of some creatures who do not show their face in the light of day, perhaps we can have a deal here. I'll give you your first few pounds of vegetables and gourds free in exchange for you bringing back more supplies to island that our huntsmen are a little too afraid to be able to traverse into.
I will nod and say, I will stake my life to one of this deal. Thank you very much. You're too kind. Thank you.
Of course.
And I'll cast Minor Illusion, which is my new cantrip, and I'm gonna make the Roslyn seal and sort of put it on my palm and then go to shake hers.
Okay, cool, awesome. Nice little MMO emoji. She likes it, and she gives you her family sign back. So, yeah, you clasp her hand, and she smiles to you and gives you a trusting, stern nod, and says, "The next ship to No Man's Wharf leaves in the next 2 hours. But if you are not willing to travel today, there is one that goes every day at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Thank you very much.
Of course. I expect great things from you adventurers. Hopefully I'll see you again soon."
Before I leave, I'll tell everyone that we have kind of 2 hours to do this, and optionally go over, so that everyone knows that we're on like a time thing. If they want to go, if they don't want to go to the island, obviously we don't go.
What I would say is, since the island does exist, I have ideas for it. It's nothing that I haven't really developed it physically yet. So perhaps we can put that on the back burner for 8 a.m. The next day.
Yeah.
So she would say, "By the way, my name is Lynn. I'm on the opposite side of the sandbar from where you're going. A very small, quaint house. Me and my eldest daughter live there. If you end up coming back alive from traversing deeper into the jungle, perhaps even the explorers around here would appreciate you charting it for us. Those parts of the island are not yet charted yet, but you can come and find me in my small cabin, and remember to ask for Lynn."
I will look concerned and say, "Just you and your daughter?"
"Oh yes. Well, is there something about my appearance that makes you think me and my daughter will not be able to defend ourselves?"
No, if anything, it's quite admirable. I'm proud to count myself as a business ally of yours.
Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to our further endeavors.
Hot single mom in my area. Sweet.
Lionel, the businessman.
Jesus. Alright, so, yeah, we gotta get that done. She's Ellen?
She's, Lynn.
Lynn. And she lives across the sandbar.
Yes. So it's beyond her little, establishment here. Opposite side of, blacksmith Dessig.
Just around the riverbed.
Yeah.
Oh,
What a good movie.
Man, Lionel's
Love
getting
it.
all kinds of options out here.
Yeah, for real.
right.
He's gonna build his goddamn, like,
I was
empire
worried he
here.
was going to offer his body at one point.
Business, is that what they call it?
That's what I was about to say. I was pretty sure that was what was happening.
I might end up being a married man by the end of this.
To multiple women.
Well, I mean, that's a little bit far. I've already got a harem going. I kind of need to deal with that back in Katarina. So that might be why I don't go back.
So
Well, I
let's
have
see.
58 children.
Jeez. Alright.
Are you going to make me roll, like, 3d20? I feel like Brandon's going to make me roll 3d20 to decide how many kids I have back in the kingdom.
Hey, that'll be your concluding
We are
story.
good people, so there should be quite a few each time.
Your main quest has become make Lucatil your wife by the end of the campaign.
I mean, I will go for that, but, yeah.
So a human plus a Roslyn equals Tabaxi?
We'll see.
Khajiit? I don't know.
Something like that.
She has wares if you have coins.
My son's running around trying to sell shit to people. He's doing moon sugar and everything.
Oh my god.
No skooma. Bad.
Bad skooma.
Oh, school.
I love this.
Just 1 second.
One of his more unruly kids is just sitting there on the street going, "You want some skooma, bro?"
Yeah, fucking hookah.
Garud's the one that fucking send it to him. Like, oh, damn it. I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, make me the big bucks, boy. And just pat him on the shoulder and walk away.
Child labor. God damn it.
Alright, so we are now heading towards Dessig's home.
Yep.
Alright. So, we do find his cabin. It is a lone stone home that looks to possibly have been crafted by himself. Sitting off on the side of the sea, he's got this tranquil little area that he has to himself. We can see smoke billowing up from the rooftop. Sort of black fiery smoke. And if we were to approach the door, we could hear the sound of smithing and a forge and sparks flying from behind the door.
I'm going to go on inside since this looks like the place where the blacksmith is.
I think it would also be pretty obvious. It would have like an etching of a sword over a shield right on front of the door. All right, so we would happen in. We look around. It would be very hot in here. There's only like one small porthole sort of window to the side. So the heat of the forge has emanated in here. And we hear the loud gonging of this small dwarven figure, very muscular, covered in soot, that is, forging away at weapons currently. He's obviously small. He's a dwarf. He's well built. He's got deep red hair that is entwined with graying hair. So he's a middle-aged dwarf. It's graying a little bit. His beard has been braided into, two separate, strands of thick beard, and the sweat atop of his red head is sort of swept back, and he's just in his hide outfit, hammering away at his forge. Doesn't really notice you guys walk in.
All right, everyone, get your restless shards out.
Orin's going to approach the guy that he believes is Dessig.
Okay.
And he's going to open up in Dwarvish, and he's
Oh,
going to
wow.
say, "Excuse me, sir. I have a service I might request of you if you have the time."
He would stop forging, look up to you with widened eyes, and then waddle over to you in short stature, and he would say, "How is it that you know the Dwarven tongue? You do not look to be from Pharos?"
I suppose I have my parents to thank for that. I grew up the son of a pair of scholars, and in helping them with their duties, I picked up a few different languages growing up.
He wipes the soot from his forehead with his forearm, gives a big snort, and he says, "Well, anyone who's willing to learn my tongue is a good apple in my book." And he reaches out with his soot-covered rough hand for a sort of forearm clasp with you.
I'll return it as best I can, trying to match what he's doing to not show offense.
He then goes down to your hand and grasps your palm, and he smiles, and you can see he's got some teeth missing. Not a very well kept. He's not from a wealthy family at all, so he's got some scraggly teeth about and whatnot. And he laughs heartily as he squeezes your palm and says, "Your hands are soft there, you Erythilian man. What is it that you're doing not working hard labor? You're spending too much time behind your desk, rummaging away at your papers and pencils."
If that were the case, my life wouldn't be as interesting as it is now. Wanted to do the
Indeed.
journey. I did study wizardry for some time, but you're right, I don't see much manual labor, that is.
Well, if you're wandering into my shop and in need of anything from me, I'm willing to give it to you, whether you're one who's well-versed in weapons or hard labor or not. If you're coming here and you wanting help from me, there's no reason for me to pass you by. So, foreigners of this land, and he sort of just props his elbow up against his desk and wipes some more soot from his face. He says, "What is it that this old dwarf can do for you?"
He's gonna take from behind him the large rune sentinel hammer that he's been dragging with him. And he's gonna point out, I just uploaded the image to Discord. He's gonna point out to Dessig his idea. You see, as a wizard, I usually carry a staff, and the wooden quarterstaff I have with me is, well, serviceable, but not of very good quality. In our travels, I came across this quite impressive hammer, and the shaft of which seems to be extremely sturdy, and there's this ornate metal twisted banded part that comes just before the hammerhead itself. I was wondering if perhaps the hammer part could be cut off, and if that remaining twisted metal banded part could be curved into the shape of a circle, much like a shepherd's crook.
Now, I didn't want to interrupt you, but as soon as you would pull that out, the sort of forge hammer that he's holding in one hand, he would just drop it right to the floor while it's still red hot. His eyes would go wide, and he would begin cussing in Dwarven. And he would quickly wander up to you and say, "By Kreml himself, where did you get such a finely crafted weapon? That looks like a sort of weapon only given to the children of King Idibus. Surely you did not craft it yourself."
I'll turn back. I'm assuming the party's behind me.
No, you're there alone, bro.
Oh, okay.
No, we're there.
Snickering over my shoulder, I'll turn back to them and kind of give them the, well, here goes, and turn back to face Dessig, and I'll say, well, I recently spent time under the Malicium, and we were beset upon by reincarnated versions of the king's children, if not them themselves.
He would begin to slowly squat down and rest his elbows on his knees as he looks up and listens to you, just so completely silent.
And Orn will start to recall the story of us fighting the three children as they joined battle one by one. And he'll even back up a little bit and describe the puzzle that they had to solve beforehand underneath, and that the battle itself was very harrowing, and they had a trusty friend beside them that was able to help out. And at the end of besting the third brother, assuming Nerf is also in the room and not shy about the shield, Orn will also indicate that of the remaining materials we were able to harvest one of the args, one of the hammers. And did we get the pauldrons from here, or was that somewhere else?
I took the pauldrons from their bodies, and I took the gauntlets and their sabatons and boots.
And Orn will politely point out those materials as well, provided that they're visible and that the party mates are not shy about them being revealed. And recall the story about us, quickly. He doesn't want to turn this into a 3-year long powwow, but of us getting the rest of the way out of there, and here we are.
At this point, after you recount your story, and during you recounting your story, in his silence, the once red forging hammer has gone completely cold, leaving a bit of a scorch mark on the floor, and he slowly stands back up, his knees creaking, and he shakes his head and sort of chuckles to himself and says, "My, it's been a long time indeed since I heard of them children. I myself did once work this forge for Queen Hyde, back in those treacherous old days." And then he begins to, stroke his beard, and he says, "My, I almost forgot, didn't I? Leaving Ferros, they did warn me that once you leave your homeland in this place, if you get comfortable, you begin to forget your past. Well, you slaying the children of Idibus is quite a feat indeed. I am sorry for what I had said earlier. I was just poking fun, but it seems now that even warriors who would look down and laugh upon you, have nothing to say, for I know none who have done such a ruinous feat.
Well, I wish I could claim a warrior's bravery. I was quite afeared myself, and I think if it weren't for all of us working together, the companion combined, we probably would not have been successful. So your kind words are taken gratefully.
Ah, no worries at all. It's completely fine and understandable. You came out, you survived, and whatever it is you need, I'm willing to provide. Me being able to look upon the weapon of the child of the king is enough satisfaction for me. Being able to craft it and forge with it, I never thought I could say that I've done such a thing in my life. Hand it over here, whatever it is you need, I'll be able to provide. I am a master of my craft indeed.
Well, then I tell you what, since you're gracious enough to attest to my whims and craft this staff for me, then I'll let you keep the head that you remove, ornate carvings and all, to do with as you wish.
Quite a weight off my chest. That would
Keep
be.
my friends in mind in case they have any needs of their own.
I
And
will
Orn
always
bow
be
after
here.
saying this.
He would say, you offering that to me, it really helps with the weight of the past that I had. And I do think that being able to look upon it in my shop will always keep it in my memory, so I do not forget the past. It was quite a rough time to be alive in this kingdom indeed. This kingdom which I sought for safety from my homeland, but even then it appears that every kingdom crumbles eventually, which we all had to learn living here. But yes, once again, thank you for your kind offer. I will indeed take it, and in return I will give you the most masterfully crafted weapon that you could ever hope for. Is there anything else that any of you need from old Dessig?
You're most kind. And Orn will turn to everybody else as well.
I think you would see, does Lionel still have the sword strapped on your back?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it over to him, lay it on the floor, and unravel it, and kind of see what his reaction is.
Oh, this is quite a finely crafted sword indeed. I think I'd have a heart attack if I knew where this one came from. So we'll just leave it at that. This is, as I said, masterfully crafted, but it appears to be without a hilt. I'm not sure what happened there, but I can provide a hilt for you so you can wield this beautiful weapon indeed.
Now, I just have one question.
Of course.
You wouldn't happen, no pun intended, to have an aversion to fire?
Yes, I could probably provide you with some resistance to it. Do you mean myself and my own hands?
Yes. First time I picked it up, it decided to burn me. It is cursed, but I'm okay with that. I don't think you are.
No curse bothers me. I'm a Ferosian dwarf. Something that you might not know about Ferosians is that we do indeed have the best resistance to fire out of any of our brethren. I could grab this hammer right out from the magma if I wanted to, much the same as I could grab this sword, no matter what fire defenses it may have. No fire can pierce the heart of a dwarf like myself. And he grabs it,
Fantastic.
and nothing happens to it. He places it on the table and he says, just 2 hours. 2 hours I will be able to provide you with a masterful hilt, and I will be able to craft your weapon exactly as you desire. Of course, it will not be for free, though.
On the actual hilt, I'm going to assume that he's got like all of his materials in the place anyway, so he's obviously fully stocked. He's going to be able to do stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say to him that, you know, I'd like a leather wrapping with a wire wrapping at the bottom just to make it easier to handle, and some sort of broad pommel. And would just sort of show him the size of my hands.
Aha, yes indeed. I could perfectly do that for you. More the challenge, the more fun I have.
I'm gonna take the pauldrons and the boots and the gauntlets and place them in front of him and say, what do you think the ability of these for making armor from them?
Well, I do recognize this armor indeed, and I should have assumed that if you were going to kill King Oedipus's children and take their weapons, that you would be wielding their armor as well. It might be a bit challenging to work with, since, of course, I was not a blacksmith for the king, and he had his own, crafted in their own styles. But I could do as much with it as I can so that you would be able to wear it. I promise you that.
So, along with the hilt and along with the armor, you keep whatever you can't turn into armor for me. How much are we talking?
Alright, since you're providing me with rare materials, and since this ethereal over here is providing me with part of this rare weapon, I would say that would take off quite a good chunk indeed. I'd say that would take off about 100. So,
Fantastic.
with that left, would just be 75.
I will... Ooh, that's a good point. I'm going to do the same thing as I did with, what's her name? The woman.
Lynn?
And I'm going to say, as it is, I'm already advertising for Esther's Elixirs, so I could advertise for you as well and make a sort of business deal if you're interested.
Well, I have a very limited clientele. All of my clients here already occupy the sandbar. I can't see you getting much success trying to get the very thin old men and women of Hart Township over here, but good to try there.
I'll do my best. I'll make a song for you. And I'll just write it down on my pad. Make a song for him, and then I'll pay him the gold. What was it again? 17?
75.
75. I'm down to 6 gold.
Oh shit, well you had enough.
Yep.
Well, it has been quite educational, and I am very excited to work on these items. The boys who travel to No Man's Wharf really have nothing but simple rusted steel for me, and it has grown quite tiresome. I at times miss my old land of Pharos, and I think this will do just the trick to remind me of forging in the old days.
Awesome.
Alright, he will get right to work then, giving you your hilt for the Lost Sinner's Greatsword. He will do his best to make sure that you get some substantial armor from the leftovers of the Ruined Sentinels, as well as turning your lucerne into a staff, while he gets to keep the bladed end. So as he said, he says, give me 2 hours and I'll be right back with you.
Jesus, that's some fast turnover.
He is...
Yeah, he's probably getting his other workers to help out and whatnot. Also,
Oh, he has no other workers.
And I...
Like, if you've ever worked metal, that's mad. Like, 2 hour turnover.
Yeah, 2
So-
hours is fast as shit.
The thing is, obviously I'm not going to give information, but this is not an uneducated, like, random 2 hours. Yeah. Like he said, dwarves from Pharos, like, just can dip their arms in magma and it's no fucking big deal. So...
Yeah, they're just ridiculously good smiths. They're like forging weapons of the gods and that kind of stuff.
So, like, you think about the amount of tools and materials you need to, like, safely forge, you know. Can you imagine, like, seriously, like, almost pottery, like, crafting while your arms are inside the forge? You're just using your hands, you know. So that's pretty much how that goes for Dessig. But anyway, yeah, so he's perfectly happy to help you guys out with that. he gets right to it. And in the meantime, would you guys want to wait until his stuff is ready to go see Arla, and just sort of hang around the sandbar and talk to people, or would you guys like go see Arla while he's working on it and then come back?
I was actually going to ask one more favor of
Sure.
our dwarven friend there. Basically, I would just hold out the hag's claws, and I would ask him if, by any chance, do you happen to have any gauntlets or something I could attach these to? And also, would you be able to possibly help either infuse them with some form of poison or cold or hot, something to help out with battle?
I don't
As
do
I
gauntlets.
kind of look to him?
Pharaoh's dwarves are strictly no gauntlets in combat. I'm just kidding, I'll do it for you. It'll be one of the easiest jobs I can do.
That's great.
Oh, well, perfect. How much would this, how much would you like for the, gauntlets with some, claws?
Oh, just a gauntlet, just some claws. It'll take 1-2 punch, no time at all. You can go ahead and give me 25 gold for that.
Alright. Would you be able to imbue it with any type of, fire or ice or poison of some sort?
Fire, sir, is my speciality. Of course.
Perfect. I will pay him up front. I'll just give him the money now, and, I will, get that all squared away.
Thank you very much. Your business is very appreciated. As I have said, I will be back with you in 2 hours. Enjoy the sandbar or travel wherever you wish. I will be here.
Thank you so much, and I'll let him be and get to his work then, now that, I got that taken care of.
Okay.
I might just start playing drums for a bit while he's working.
Okay. So, we have given him some jobs to do, some challenging, more exciting jobs for him than he is used to, with all the simple folk that, you know, give him very simple, you know, little steel rusted swords that they just want to tie together to a, you know, simple stone hilt. So he's very excited that you guys have given him some, like, real good work. Like I said, would you guys, when we come back next time, were you guys wanting to just sort of hang around and wait for him to be done, or go do the other thing you're interested in while he's doing that?
I would be under the opinion we should probably wait around to make sure we're as prepared as possible when we go speak with the dragon.
Yeah, I want to have my boss weapons.
Okay.
So,
Boss weapons!
More weapons!